kamikaze drones are also being used on the front line of the war. So far Kyiv has focused its counter-offensive in the southeast of Ukraine. Now it's hoping to split the areas you see in red here occupied by Moscow to reach the sea, but progress has been slow, whereas in the northeast of the Ukraine Russia itself is pushing forward towards Kupiansk and Lyman. Our correspondent Quinton Somerville reports now from the Eastern Front, where he spent the last few weeks speaking to Ukrainian soldiers and civilians who are being bombarded by Russian artillery. The battle on Ukraine's Eastern Front has reawakened. It's in these fields and trenches that the conflict now burns at its hottest. Ukraine says there's been a lot of Russian activity in this area over the past couple of days. In fact, there were airstrikes in the village just behind me, so we're now having to move before dawn to get to the trenches south of Kupiansk. They cast Russian forces out of here almost a year ago, but their enemy is threatening to return beyond these fields. Russia has advanced in recent weeks. The men of the 68th Jaeger Brigade, newly installed, are here to ensure that they go no further. They are up against infantry and artillery attacks daily along these lines. You can see here that outgoing artillery. Thank you. Along the front it said some 100,000 Russian troops have gathered in newly formed battle groups, some beyond this tree line. If you look all around here, there's been incoming fire here. There's lots of damage, so there's plenty of trench positions to take covering. It's easy to forget with so much focus on the counter-offensive in the south of Ukraine that there are vicious battles going on here in the east, and the north and the south are making progress bit by bit. But here in the east it's Russia that's advancing. This is a war on many fronts, and it's straining Russia's resources, but it's also straining Ukraine's too. So in the south and the east the demands on Ukrainian forces are rising. This is frontline. Yeah, I cannot go. Andre is taking us forward, but a Russian drone spotted his vehicle before we took cover. We must go, he says. Get in the car. A dozen shells land in as many minutes. We first met Andre in June when he was fighting in the southern counteroffensive around Wilika Novosilka. This Eastern Front is far deadlier, he says. Far fewer soldiers there than there are here, and they have more weapons here, more of everything. That's why it's more dangerous here. Its games are modest, but from Kupiansk to Lyman further south, Russia is resurgent in the Sbrainskyii forest. It's especially fierce this morning. Maybe a couple of hours ago you see it's still burning. Fear not out of the trees. The main compare of the artillery barrages to the First World War's Verdun, but there is a new lethal threat to contend with here. Kamikaze drones. The gunner has fallen inside. He's on hard. He signals that was a drone attack against our car. That was wrong. Russian, so they saw us. They send the 50 drone, and now they are seeking us and hunting us, so we need to grow faster. We just couple hunting needed from our position. network impales a surveillance drone is still up above, so they get off the road. I've had to stop going forward. The deeper you get into the forest cover doesn't get better. Constant Russian artillery setting some of the trees on fire, and it's turning in these areas into wide open area. It's very exposed, no tree cover here, so I've had to come off the road. Our drones up above, I just saw what they can do. The Humvee's thick armor and the driver's quick thinking means that everybody inside was unhurt, but of course civilians along these reignited front lines have no such protection. Young and old villagers around Kupiansk are being evacuated from their homes, now in range of Russian guns, and Russia doesn't discriminate. Last year, they injured 6 months of occupation. They refuse to again. Once more on the Eastern Front, the advance of Russian guns is casting Ukrainian families apart. Victor gives his family a final hug before they separate. He is just 5 months old, too precious to remain in harm's way. Why are you leaving? Because it's very scary to live here. I want to save God, my children. It's very scary not knowing if the shelling will hit or not, if we will survive or not. Victor hoped that he was done with goodbyes. Russia advances. He is once again left, praying that he'll see his family again.